Hello. This is crazy. This is really loud, actually, in my ears. But anyway, and bear with me, I'm actually... So, before NAYC, I was going through one of those things where you feel like you're around everybody, but you're all alone, and you don't know what to do, and you don't know how to pray. And you're praying, and you don't know how to get past that point of prayer that you're at, where you're praying to where you might be in tears, but you just feel good that Sunday, and then Monday comes, and then the rest of the week, and then you have another Sunday, feel good Sunday, all that, and I was going through that. And then we get to NAYC, I'm coming, I'm expecting. I come expecting, I should say. And I know it's going to be great, and I get there Wednesday night, and the service is amazing, but I can't remember any of it. I was in my head. I prayed. I don't remember much. I'm going to be totally honest. And then Thursday morning came around, and Sister, she preached a good word. She really did, and it opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. And then Thursday night came, and he was preaching, and it came around, and I got in my head again, and I was like, I just kept hearing, you're not going to ever hear your calling. You're not worthy enough to hear your calling. You're not ever going to amount to anything in life because you're not good enough, and you're never going to be good enough. And nothing you can do is going to stop that, because you're just going to pray, and you're going to go back on the bus, and you're going to go to the hotel room, you're going to feel the same, and nothing's going to be different because you're going to come right back to me. And that was the devil just speaking in my life, because he knew I had a breakthrough coming that night. And he knew that God was going to do something so great in my life, that he was just feeding all these thoughts into my brain, but I wasn't going to let myself worry on those any longer, because I was tired. I was so tired of service to service prayer, because I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't. I was so sick of it, and I was so sick of just being scared of the next thought that was going to come into my mind, and I was so sick of having to deal with the day-to-day, and I was tired. And so I had my head bowed, and I'm crying, and I'm getting to that point of prayer where I'm crying, and I was about to stop. I was about to just be like, okay, I've prayed enough. It's not happening for me. And I believe it was Pastor. He had came over, and he had told me to raise my head, to raise my hands. And so I did. And so I did. I raised my hands, and I told God, I was like, Lord, I can't do this anymore. I got to let it all go. Lord, anything that is holding me back, and everything that is stopping me from reaching, and not only just anything that's stopping me from reaching my full potential, because I don't want to just bask in your presence. I want to dive into your glory, and I want to live there, and I want to stay there. And so I had prayed that. And so I had prayed that, and I raised my hands, and I'm bawling at this point. I'm just letting it all out. I can't stop. And it got to a point where I wasn't praying. It wasn't like me praying. It was God working directly through me, and I felt it. And I prayed on the bus. I got carried to the bus at some point. Thank you to Sister Brittany for carrying me on her shoulders. And thank you for that. And so I got on the bus, I prayed, and everything like that. The night was amazing. And I felt good. I felt good, but I knew God wasn't done, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like I was good, but I knew God was still doing something. And so Friday morning came around, and Brother James Wilson preached about hating the way. And so I prayed about that, because I didn't want to go back to anything I was doing before. I wanted to hate it. I didn't want to only just oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I wanted to hate it. I didn't want to go back to service and feeling like crap all the time. And so I prayed. And something I realized is right after you have a breakthrough, the devil's going to do everything he can to make you go back. Okay. He's going to do everything in his power because he knows that you can reach such a potential to reach others people. And he knows that you have all this power in you because it's Luke 10:19 that says we have been given authority over all power of the enemy. And the devil knows that. And don't think for a second that he doesn't, because he does. And so, pray Friday, and I start getting those thoughts again, but not as powerful as they were before. They were very, very sneaky, if that makes sense. They were very, very subtle. I remember being on the bus ride to church that night and feeling stressed and everything like that. I remember going to my dad, and I went to just give him a hug, and I just started crying. I didn't know why. I just didn't feel right. And so we had prayed that night service, and it was amazing. Everybody was praying. And I remember crying, and then I remember raising my hands again because I was like, I'm pushing past this. There's no point in staying and dwelling on it because I know God's got something for my life, and I know he's got something planned for me. And so I prayed past it, and we ended up praying on the bus. And I remember praying for another youth member, and I say thank you because that really helped. And I don't think I told you that, but thank you, because I didn't feel like I wasn't able to pray for anyone because I wasn't good enough. I knew that I was able to pray for people because God has that placed on my life. He's given us that power that we can help others reach their full potential, and we are able to help others to see his light. And so I prayed for her, and then I went and I prayed, and we were praying on the bus, and then we were praying at the hotel, and everybody thought we were crazy. And if that's crazy, I don't mind being crazy. But I know that I just want to say that NAYC was truly life-changing for me. And I know it's going to stay with us. And we might not be able to bring NAYC back to the full power that it was, but I know, at least in my eyes, I'm going to do everything that I can to at least bring back a little bit. And I know the youth has the mindset that we're not just living service to service anymore, because we're going to do something amazing, and we're going to bring something amazing, and we're going to do greater things. But yeah, so that's it. That's all I have.